Hello Virgo, Elsie here to do your weekly reading. How are you doing, my Earth cousins? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. Look, we're here to do a 9-card draw this week. That's what we're looking at. That's what's tickling my brain. And as long as you can remember this is a general reading and that this is not only a reading for your sun sign. Other signs log in here that have a sign that is Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So if I mention another sign, it's because that sign could be watching. I'm reading for all kinds of placements here. So just keep that in mind. What are we reading about this week? Well, what is the skin that you're shedding? Look, we've come out of the year of the snake, the mastery of the inner world. So we've come out of the year of the snake, which is the mastery of the inner world. Now we're shaking off that old skin, and we are in the year of the horse, which is the mastery of the outer world. So what will you keep building that isn't working? Or will you burn it all to the ground and begin again? Let's talk about that in a 9-card draw. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Virgo. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you about the extended and private reads. Tell me about Virgo. Virgo, we start with the Empress. Then we get the Ace of Swords. And we have the Temperance card. Something is coming into a moment of alchemy, friend. Something is coming into balance. You could possibly not be expecting it, but it feels like there is going to be some sort of clarity. It could be coming from an Empress. It could be coming about an Empress. It could be coming about your stability or your abundance. It does feel like you are going to become clear about something that you've been hoping for an answer for. So I'm going to say that whatever your questions are, your answers are about to be revealed here. We do have the Two of Swords. It does feel as though you've been trying to make some sort of a decision. If this reading for you, Virgo, is about a person, it might be about an Empress, somebody who could possibly have Sun, Moon, or Rising, Venus, or Jupiter in Taurus or Libra energy. I feel like you're trying to make a really balanced decision, but you're trying to make it intuitively. It's the reasoning for the Two of Swords. The person on the Two of Swords has their eyes covered. I'm not going to believe what I see. I'm going to try and do this intuitively. It feels like whatever the question is that you've been asking is about to be answered here. This Ace of Swords here is to bring clarity or cut through the illusion. I feel like there's something here that's been making you very emotional. And so it's hard to make a clear decision, a logical decision, sometimes, not all the time, when we're overwhelmed by emotion. I feel like the emotion is what is causing some sort of illusion. And it feels like you need to make a decision that's not clear. I feel like that clarity is coming. That it's you're going to be able to make a clear decision about something. Now, I think it's because you have a lot of opportunities or options, and they all might be very emotional options. It feels like it is about a person who could be an Empress, or somebody who if it's not a person, it could be about your abundance, about your stability. We do have the Ace of Wands. It feels like, I'm going to say that once you get this answer, it's almost like you're like, wait a second. Oh, I didn't think about it from that angle before. It feels like it's an exciting or exhilarating moment of, oh my gosh, right. Yes, I can do this the other way. It feels like this Ace of Swords is cutting through the illusion or the confusion or the overwhelm. It feels like it's something you hadn't thought of before, but it comes to you in a moment of alchemy here, where everything that's been up in the air going backwards, forward, side to side, all of a sudden your indecision becomes a solid decision because of clarity. We've got the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I would say that whatever decision it is that you're trying to make here is something that makes you deeply emotional or is connected to something deeply emotional. Look, it could be connected to a mother. It could be connected to a parent of some kind, but it feels like it is deeply connected to emotions. I feel like you're a person who tries not to show your emotions on the surface. It feels like with this Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups that you are emotionally intelligent, but I feel like you choose not to show your emotions on the surface. You could be worrying about something that has to do with your stability or your your finances here. It feels like it is connected to something that's deeply spiritual, deeply emotional for you. And it feels like the reason you can't make a decision or you didn't think about it from another direction is because you weren't thinking logically, but maybe you were thinking with your heart. Maybe you were thinking about, oh God, if I make this decision, somebody's going to be upset with me. It feels like it is that you have to pick one thing from all the things that are being presented to you. And the reason that you're experiencing paralysis of the Two of Swords is because you don't want to break anybody's heart. Three Swords are here, right? You don't want to break anybody's heart. You don't want to disappoint anybody. And so it feels like you've got to make a decision, which I think is coming. And it's coming in this moment of, right. I forgot about this. I feel like this is something that has been perpetual. The devil energy here is giving me a repetitive energy. So it feels like you've been either repeatedly thinking about it, or you've been perpetually impacted financially. This is something that has been perpetually emotional for you, to be maybe ousted from a family. Maybe you're not speaking with somebody in the family or a mother, or that you're experiencing a little bit of instability within your stability. It feels like it's something that's been going on for a while, but I do believe that the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords are here to tell you that this is a new beginning now, and that, boom, it's going to come to you like, oh, right. That's what Temperance is. So I feel like it's going to heal you. I feel like it's going to be a decision that you're comfortable with because it comes out of clarity. But I also feel like you come to this place of, I've just got to get out of this loop, this negative thought pattern about everything. Like maybe you don't have to burn it all to the ground if you don't want to. It feels like you come to a place where you can make a decision about, okay, well, maybe I don't have to stop or go. Maybe there's a place in between where I could come to a decision about all of this without getting really overwhelmed about the answer. I feel like something's coming to you. You're getting an answer. We're going to put down 2 cards here to find out what is under the surface. Tell me about Virgo. It could be emotional because it could be that there is a deep connection here. Now, the Two of Cups is not always about love, but for some of you viewing it through that lens, it could be for you. But the Two of Cups is, I've shared private things with you or heartfelt things. It's the deepening of a bond. It feels like somebody here has been feeling very overwhelmed about whether or not they want to deepen a bond with someone, maybe a situation. Tell me more. We've got the Page of Wands, but it feels almost exhilarating, I would say. The Page of Wands is giving me the feeling of excitement, but also this instability. It gives me, like the Page of Wands as a child. Children don't make very good decisions, and that's why they have mentors and parents. And so I feel like somebody here is afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision based on fire rather than based on what I really want, which is a very deeply bonded connection with somebody here, whether that is platonic or romantic for you. Let's talk about the Empress. Who is this in your life here? Tell me about the Empress. What is this, or who is this? What is this here? We've got the 6 of Wands in the reverse. This may be somebody who I feel is the person that you don't want to disappoint by making a decision that is based in the heart space. I feel like you are coming into your magician energy. 1, 2, 3 aces, right? It feels like you're coming into your magician energy, which means that you're now using you're going to have the ability to realize that you've always had the skills and the resources to do the thing that you want. And I feel like you are worried about disappointing the Empress, or that this person is going to look at you as someone who already has their stability, already has their crap together. It feels like somebody here is looking at that person as a mentor saying, I don't really want to hurt your feelings, but I have to make the decision that's the best thing for me. The 6 of Wands in the reverse is telling me I feel stuck to make a decision about my heart space because I don't want to let somebody down. There's a worry here. Yeah, the 9 of Swords is here. There's a worry here that the heart space is involved. So it does feel like somebody here, maybe you have prominent water in your chart, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. It feels like you're making a really heartfelt decision about a question that you've had, and I feel like your answer does come in a moment of alchemy here. Let's talk about what happens, or how you'll know when Temperance arrives, because I feel like somebody here is really struggling with clarity about, is this an illusion? Do I have to make a decision right now? Is the clarity coming, or am I waiting for no reason? Have I just blocked myself? Do I not see things for what they are? Tell me about Temperance. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. Look, the confidence that you need in order to make a decision that's good for your finances, that's good for your stability, that's good for your reputation, that's good for you to be able to build something all on your own? I feel like that answer is coming here. You're going to know exactly what to do. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. So I love that, because this could be a decision about home, hearth, money, could be your home, could be your family, it could be your health, right? It feels like you're about to make a decision to go on a journey that is going to benefit you and you only. That's what it is. You're the person who is the one who loves to help. You're the helper. You're the one who's always in service. You're the one who's always on call for someone who needs you, or even if people aren't asking you for help, you're offering. You could be the mentor, but I feel like you're now pulling back and saying, I got to do this thing for me by myself without help, because I need to get stability in my life. I need to organize my thoughts, right? This is the CEO of the zodiac, right? So we've got somebody here who's trying to organize, who's trying to plan. I need to do it, but I need to do it for myself, and I don't want to look selfish in the process. I don't want to look selfish. I think that is what the overwhelm is about here. Yeah, I feel like you don't want to make anyone else sad. You want to make the decision that is the best for you. But I think that you don't want to make anyone else sad. I feel like you've been living in, this doesn't necessarily have to do with financial poverty, but for some of you it is, that maybe you've been living on very little because you've been giving away a lot of your resources or helping other people. And maybe you've put yourself on the back burner instead of the front burner. I think that you've possibly been on the outside looking in, and as long as they're happy, then I'm happy. It really feels like a parent, or you're a person who is, if you're not a parent, if you haven't had children of your own, that's your motherly or fatherly. Like I have an uncle who's never had children of his own, but he's like my pseudo dad. And so, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. It feels like that you are you're trying to get back into putting yourself on the front burner, but you don't want anyone else to think that you're forgetting them by putting yourself on the front burner. Look, I feel like you've given enough support, stability, money, time, effort to people around you. I feel like you're taking back your energy. I feel like you're taking back your energy and going to make a decision to get yourself out of the Five of Pentacles. For some of you, this could be financial poverty. For some of you, this could be, I'm in a job that I really hate. This could be, if I make this decision, I could be ousted from the family. But it is a lack mindset that's been going over and over and over, which is confusing emotionally, which is why you haven't made this decision yet. But I feel like the decision is coming. Tell me about this Five of Pentacles. We've got, I said you were going to be the magician, right? It felt like magician energy was here because we have three of the aces here. We have the Three of Cups and we have the Eight of Cups. Look, I feel like you are a person who is going to have to detach from helping others or making everyone else the priority in your life, or making decisions in your life based on what everyone else is going to think. I feel like I'm talking to someone who feels like they should sacrifice themselves financially, or they should sacrifice the way they want to be for themselves in order to help others. I feel like with the Eight of Cups that you've decided, I can't settle for this anymore. This could be affecting your health. Don't forget that Pentacles are not just money. It's time, effort, energy, money, health, what's going on in your life, like your home, your car. You could be sacrificing yourself, and I think that you're finally saying, I can't settle for this anymore. Because if they really love me, Two of Cups, right? 8 and 2 is 10. If they really love me, if they are my family, if they want to see me enjoy, then they're not going to be worried about the decision that I make. It feels like with the Three of Cups that it could be like you don't want your the people who you love the most, or the people who are in your soul group, to see you differently. I feel like you're a person who practices sacrifice. I feel like you're always sacrificing yourself to give other people things, but now you're in this magician energy where you realize that the resources and the tools that you have are of no use if you don't use them for yourself as well. It's not just for other people. You can't manifest for other people, by the way. You can pray for other people, but you can't manifest for other people. Manifestation is simply for you. We do have the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're keeping something under the surface because this is all very deeply emotional for you, because I think you're dealing with someone who's special in your life, because the Two of Cups is here. This is someone that you've shared a lot of emotions with, someone that you're very deeply bonded to. It could be a love relationship. I could be talking about a marriage. I could be talking about we've been dating for years. I could be talking about someone you're living with and not yet married to. It could be talking about a mother, a sister, a brother, a father. We've got the King of Cups. For me, the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups are mom and dad. And so it could be that as well. I feel like what you're doing is you're waiting. You're waiting and keeping things under the surface. I think you're about to make a really big decision for yourself, Virgo, that's going to put you, it's going to set you apart from other people. And it's a really hard decision, Seven of Cups, because it's deeply emotional or deeply attached to your emotions. You don't want other people to see you as selfish. And I don't think that you are selfish. I think you're very giving. But when someone who is incredibly giving and actually goes through a process of having less than everybody else starts to take their power back and make a decision that puts them on the front burner, it can for a moment look a little selfish. And I think that's what you're worried about. You're worried about making a choice that affects your emotions and something that has been, I feel like you've been waiting and waiting and waiting to do and keeping it under the surface because you don't feel right about making this choice for yourself. Look, it's going to lead to the Nine of Cups. And I think that you've been keeping it quiet and under the surface because you're trying to avoid rejection. The Four of Cups is here. We're going to go into the extended. If you'd like to be there with us, Virgo, we're going to clarify the rest of this and figure out what else happens here. Give you some advice about what is going to happen going forward based on what is going to be showing up here. But I think you're about to get an answer to something that you felt you would never get an answer to because of the confusion that is at the heart of the matter. So if you want to go to the extended with us, please look at the top of the comments. There is a pinned comment there. Click on read more and you will get a link for the membership, which is where all these extendeds go. I also do readings just for the membership and not for the wider platform there. If you're interested in having a private read, then please look there as well. There's a link to Hypsee. You can get me online live. If you want to do that, please book in advance. You will get between 5 and 75% off your live readings. Also, I do pre-recorded readings, which begin at $25 and go up from there. Please go take a look at the link to Hypsee. You'll see all my packages, all my pricing, and all my time frames. I'm going to go for now. I'm going to go into the extended. If you want to be there, I'll see you there. And if not, that's cool, because I'll be back, because I'm always back, Virgo. Thanks so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. Bye-bye.